Hello, IK here. Welcome to postsSlice. postsSlice part 8. Here is a postsSlice of application what save data in memory. It means when we switch off our computer, there is no data. Uh, it is not something waste time because we can think there is no practice for that, but there is. Basket, e-commerce basket is an excellent example for use data in memory. Because in basket we thinking and add product, grow more pieces, less pieces, remove product, and again add product, and all that process. Why contact every time contact server? And it is better in memory. And when we decided what to buy, push button submit, our order go in separate table in database or other construction on the server. Here is a postsSlice for that kind of application. It's application 454. And in that application, we have a reducer because we don't need go asynchron. We don't need go out of the single thread JavaScript application as it is our React application. And we stay synchronized. We don't go asynchron. And Redux understand synchronize and don't need nothing for asynchron process, which Redux don't understand, cannot follow, and need help to see what happened with the data during asynchron process. Here is a synchron process, and here we have reducers. In asynchron process, we have extra reducer. Here is a reducer. If we look at in first reducer post edit, big confusion here is it is reducer. Post edit is reducer, reaction edit is reducer, post update is reducer, post delete is reducer, but it is we call that also action creator, and how it is reducer, and we call it action creator, and we call it also action because result of this action creator is action, and action equal function action creator, and contrary, action creator equal action. And now we see that is all of that is reducers. How that confusion resolved and convert in no confusion, to be clear. At first, we have here functional programming, and it is function is object is function, but also how it is reducer. Reducers is function, and reducer there is input, state, and action. And Here is it is reducer state in the action. It is very clear. Reducer is function what have a parameter state and action. Every reducer in Redux there is an input state and action. State always exists on input, but action uh, don't exist always. We will see later. And now, in curly brackets of that reducer, we have what to do with payload. What to do? State, push, action, payload. Uh, State is array and array posts plural, and push is method of array. It means what we see, state.push action payload. Action payload is what we send. It is about our interaction. It is our interaction with user interface, and concretely here, payload would be uh, payload would be title, content, user ID. Title, content, user ID. But where is it? It is every post in posts array. There is a title, content, user ID. But every post, it is what we add, what we inform must write, create, and but also a prepare function uh, uh, made structure of complete post. Complete post there is also uh, and there is also a nanoid. It is a function would give random strings for ID, random strings for ID. A date, every post, there is an ID, there is a date, and here is a creation of that date when it would be activate when we write in form, and would be new date created for that post. It is something automatically created, not by our will. And title, content, user ID, it is something what we input through form. And reactions object, reaction object is something automatically uh, would add, because here it is created, would add every post. And here is finished. And it's all. It's all about post edit. Uh, Again, post edit. For post edit, we have a function prepare. That function creates structure complete post. It means what we type in all field. Prepare, uh, define all field. And all field is what would be, it is also payload. It is also payload. Uh, and we must not what is payload. Payload is what coming in action here. What coming in action object. It is not action object. Payload is properties of action object, and other properties is type of action. Type of action say what to do with payload. And here it is what to do with payload. Here it is, it declare action uh, type of action type. And how call we that? What would be name string? It is a string name of action type. Would be post edit. Would be post edit. It means that programs in background will create it uh, post edit as action creator. Code in the background is code what because of what is possible declarative programming that we write as possible as little that we code and that as possible as more does for us background code. And because of that, we code only goals, only target, and how to get that target. It is about background code. It, it is visible here, post edit. It here is reducers, and all in all down is reducers. Okay, is reducers, but every of that reducers is action creator. Action creator. Here concretely, action creator is right as action object. Action object. And because post edit is object, is properties of reducer. Reducer is here properties of postsSlice. Column, and in curly brackets is all reducers. One of that reducers is post edit, and post edit is properties of reducers. Because post edit column there is open curly brackets with like it is value of post edit, and value of post edit is again a reducer, and here is a prepare, and here is a prepare. It is properties. It is object, not function. It is object because value is curly brackets. Inside of curly brackets is always object. It means that here reducer and prepare is right in syntax of function. Reduce name of function, parameter, and we have curly brackets. In curly brackets it is body of function. But here post edit with columns, um, means properties of what? Of reducers. And it means that reducers, there is a properties, reducer properties of postsSlice. Here is it. There is a properties also, post edit, but we can write that every, look at the post edit, it means column, and in curly brackets all other reaction edit. Okay. Never mind. In any case, is post edit here is right in like properties, and there is a value object, and inside of that object there is two function reducer and function prepare. Function reducer uh, is because post edit is reducers and must have function with parameter state and action. And in body, there is a state push action payload. It means when we uh, click submit in add post form, where we write title content and choose ID of writer, uh, that moment would be push action payload to existing array post, to existing array post. And now we must declare what is defined, what is a payload, because it is not only what we type in form, it is, there is more. We type title, content, user ID, and prepare function use for structure, defined structure of every post. Title, content, user ID coming from form, and this function return payload properties, and that payload there is a value inside curly brackets. Here it is after column curly brackets, it's object with value ID automatically would be add every post to every post. What would be add? Function nanoid would be generate string, random string with a lot of characters. Every post would be added automatically date. Here is a value. What value? Value B, this is for a value. That moment when we click submit, that moment date from our computer's operation system. Title, content, user ID coming from form. And there is object reactions every post. There is object reactions, properties reactions in curly brackets. It is properties of that object reactions with initial value 0. And it is for post edit. And reaction edit also. Reaction edit is here right in form of function. We call it action creator, and also reaction edit. That same name would be added uh, like uh, like okay, reaction edit, I think not important. It is part of post edit. It is reaction edit. We will see. Does it type of action? Reaction edit. Okay. Post update is type of action also. Action creator. Action reducer. Post delete is reducer, is action creator, is action. And also string for action type. Look at it is a reducer. Every reducer there is a state and action input. And in curly brackets we said what to do. What to do with the action payload. What to do with action payload. Here it is delete. We must delete one post, what we deleted that post. And here it is. Okay, let's get see in work this terminal, new terminal. Okay. F12. F12. Here it is, and Redux. Redux. Here it is that init. It is what happened in index.js and created Redux store reducers. And we have all that defined. And all that reducers, it is postsSlice. And now I add, for us it interesting, this post. Post is two initial state. We have title first post and title second post. You see ID 0 and 1. But look at now. When I add save post, click, it is post added, post added. And here, when I click in post, you must click post edit to see ID here. Look at ID. It is a string coming from non-id, non-id function. Okay. It is add, but now F12. No, I can do this. Now I can I can give some reaction. Here it is. Redux. Yes, absolutely visible. It is nothing. It is not important what is part of post, but post reactions here. It is. It is also. It is also action type, and every action type is also action creator. You see, name of action creator, post edit. And I didn't write it. It is declarative programming. It is a background write post edit, post reaction edit, post reaction edit, post reaction edit, because I clicked 4 times, and we can delete it. We can delete it, and we now have post delete. We can update, view post, and edit post. Save post. Now is post updated post. And left is visible type, action type, and the right is visible payload. Payload. Concretely, look at post. Payload. It is a payload. Here it is better to see payload and the date, and you see reactions. It is clicking update. Uh, we have ID 0, first post hello, and the date and reactions is A0 times Hurai rocket, etc. It is initial value 0. And here it is this updated AA, date, reactions. When we click reactions, again only 0, nothing add. Click home. It is first post. Look at now. And here it is. I must click in that last. Here is reaction added. And now I will see, here it is, reaction, again, here it is, last one. No, it is this one. Here I clicked post, title first post, yes, first post. I clicked 1, and last is 0. It is first post, last is 0. Now last is 1, but I must click down here. And last one is 1 also. Okay. And, I hope all it is about postsSlice in this application is more clear, and we see that we can use the syntax of function or syntax of properties, object, for post action, because action is object, but function what create object is function creator, and it is the same result of function creator is action, and also it is reducer, and also that name is for action type. Action type is a string, properties, value in string, form of string, and payload, properties payload, two properties. There is action, object action, plain object. It means not created by new or any side effect or keyword, but it is object what have what we can write in curly brackets with properties type, column, and value. We see what it is. It is post, can be post reacted, can be again post added, deleted, etc. And payload. What is payload? Here is right side payload. Here it is. Payload is post. It is fields of payload: ID, title, content, and value. Here is user, date, reactions, and fields of object reactions, properties of, and here is again second post is also ID is 1, ID is 1, title, content, etc. When we add when we add the post, it is last post added. We have date, content, and reactions is default value 0, but interesting would be ID. Here it is. Look at ID. String with a lot of characters, and because possibility that same value uh, would be exist in two times, would be shown two times, is uh, probability is very low because of many characters. And we must go slowly through learning, slowly through learning. If it is if React is something after PHP and other imperative programming, here is declarative programming, and we must stay on that example as long as you need to be friendly with that kind of programming, because postslice, here it is, postslice is here tank 1, is possible uh, to code uh, without looking, but when you see that without looking, without copying, it is possible only if we understand the background of postslice. Postslice is reducer, and postslice reducer there is a state, and state must be, and reducer must be before any rendering, because reducer have initial state, and that initial state must be visible to component. Component are connected to that, and it would be initial rendering. It would be initial state in that component, in subscribed component, and because of that postslice, there is always initial state. Let's get started in what we see 5 post 5, and here it is. It means here initial state is 2 posts with value that we have every time that we have post without typing new, because every what we add would be deleted, would disappear when we switch off our computers. But these 2 posts we will have always, every time we refresh application, because it is hard here coded initial state. And after that we have immediately postslice and created slice. Created slice is function what coming with Redux toolkit, and create slice does all background job for us, background coding for us, and we only write name post, because it is post reducer. It is reducer about array posts, and initial value. Here it is object here. And reducers. Reducers uh, even even so, even though post reducers is one in store, when we look at in store, here is a store, and the post reducer is one slice. Users reducers, comments reducer, but every of these reducers need add must be possibility to add a new post, delete post, update post, and read post. And users add new users, update users, edit users, delete users, or delete users uh, or update, read, create users. It must be possible create users, post reducers also, create post, comments. It must be possible to create comments, delete comments, update, edit comments, and read comments, read on the screen, to see on the screen. Also replies one, etc. Because we here in postsSlice, it is a store. In postsSlice, uh, we have more reducers. And it is also very confused can be, but we must clear it to ourselves. And here is all about post edit. When we add post, React must know, Redux must know what we add, field what we add, and the value of that field. And for that we need prepare. But also must be reducer with state and action, and here declare what to do with payload. Push. Here it is right directly to state. State here is postsSlice. PostSlice, there is a name. That name is postsS. Here it is. PostSS. And we call it state because posts is a state here in Redux store. In Redux store, post is state, comments is state, users is state, and push is method of every array. And the parameter said what to push, action payload. And the action payload is all that with value would be push to existing actual posts. This is coming from form. All others field is automatically would be add. Automatically would be add. It is reducer and prepare. State push directly. We can write it because it is for developers less the coding, but in background there is a Imer library what coming with create slice, and that from Redux toolkit, and that Imer component take copy of state, copy of post, and push action payload to that copy, and it would be new state. Reducer, there is input state action and output state. And here it is, would be output also. It would be output. And it would be post with one post more. It would be array post with one post more. It is output of reducer. Post state array push action payload. But don't happen to original state in output of reducer, but it happened to copy of state. And this is copy, this state is copy of state. And here it is also. It is input, it is copy of state. And output is all this. All this. Because push state, this state is copy of original. Here is a copy dot push action payload. Together, it is array post plus payload plus one post more, and it is new. It is new output actual state. What we see on the screen. We see on the screen list of post plus one post more. One post more. Here is also reaction added. State and action is input. And here is a code for output state. For output, what would be output? Again, always this is copy of existing state. Here is about reaction, object reaction and state reaction. And here is a copy. And that state copy, we look at it. And all this coding is for a new reaction object. Would be one of that field of reaction would be for growing for one or less one, etc. Depending what. Also post update. Post updated, there is the input of reducer state and action. But this state is a copy of output state, of actual state, of actual what we see on the screen. And this state and action, but here action would be updated post. Updated post would be payload. Would be payload. And here it is. ID, title, content is action payload. Because we can only edit title and content, but ID must be here for reference about post. But we update title and content. We cannot update date and ID and reactions. We cannot update it. We can only delete all posts. But reactions we cannot update because reactions is reactions of users and cannot we update it. Also ID automatically, date also date. It is, but we can edit only title and content, and it is payload title and content edited, changed, and it would be action payload, and it would be visible on the screen thanks to this code. And this code is about output. Here is input, and here is in curly brackets about output state. What would be visible on the screen? What would be visible? Post array, list of posts, and one of them is updated. Post delete, again, input in reducer is a state in and action. And all this code in curly brackets is about what would be output state, new output state, because this state input is copy of output actual state. But after this coding happen, a process, we will have a new state. And all like this return state filter, it means return filter is always new array. And the new array would be a new state. New array would be new state. And IMER library always take this state, and that state is always copy because it is input. And in input always is actual state. Actual state. Here is input. In reducer, it is always actual state. Copy of actual state. And actual state is interested for us only new actual state, and it is in curly brackets, this script for it. This script for it. Okay, it is in this application 454, but it is postsSlice. There is only initial. We have only create slice, and nanoid is function, but coming from Redux toolkit, and the sub is from date fence. It is for date, nanoid for random string, but create slice is here. But other tank, yes, this is tank. There is a create slice and create asynchron tank. This application is only what we need concentrate on post without reactions, etc., for better understand, for better explanation, and for more practice in something what is important, concise, important thing. And don't disappear, don't expand our focus. Create slice, and create asynchron tank. You see names, create, function what create something. Create slice, create reducer, and create asynchron tank, create function tank. And Axios is library for simpler coding than fetch object. Axios is library as object for request method, get, etc. But it is from outside. We must install separately. But a fetch, that exists object fetch in React, and that fetch We don't need install nothing, but fetch there is more coding, and I like this Axios, very, very simple, simplest coding. But in the future, fetch would be a winner in this running. Uh, Here is also in initial state, but tank, there is a post on remote server, and because of that need create asynchronous tank. Need postsSlice. We will create postsSlice, but also we need create asynchronous tank because Redux don't understand asynchronous process, only synchronize. And here JavaScript must go out, take data from outside. And Redux, like state manager, must know what happened in that process, asynchronous process. And because of that exist this create asynchronous tank, and we need a tank. Uh, Short to say, who follow all this video, short to say, now we need two action creator. There we need only one action creator. Now we need two action creator. Because when we call fetch post is not final. Fetch post call create asynchronous tank. And the create asynchronous tank dispatch two action, pending type and fulfilled or rejected type. It is difference what we have here compared with the 545 application with data in memory. Here is the data in remote server, and we need, and Redux here need for control of process asynchronous need two dispatches, two action, pending type and fulfill type. Pending type is only waiting what happened, and we will see loading animation on the screen. But fulfilled will be the end of asynchronous process, and we will see all posts on the screen. Or if something get wrong, we will see error. We will see a reject type of action. Here, because of that, we have that for created action tank for add post, for fetch post, add post, for handle delete, and update post. That function can go in separate document, file, but will must be import here. But why? They go only with this postsSlice, and better notice it is not always clear to see more and more component and more file. Here is that tank function, what we need, and that tank function take care about data, and that data go to reducer. Where is reducer? Reducer is in postsSlice. After create slice, here is reducer. Empty object, yes, it is synchronized reducer, but we have asynchronous reducer and we call it extra reducer. And difference is here visible. Reducer is nothing, empty object, but extra reducer, there is a parameter builder object, and in curly brackets, that builder object, there is a method add case. And every method add case, we see what we see in action creator. we see state and action. There is in pending, there is a no action because action is always payload. Here, payload coming from remote server, but pending is waiting to reach, to have, to be visible, fulfilled, and payload. And always pending is waiting, is loading. Status is loading. And here is a fulfilled, and here we have in reducer state and action. But now, because every method there is add case, add case, add case, practically this add case is action creator. We have in parameter string how would be named action type. How would we name action type? And second parameter is reducer, reducer with state and action. Now we have action payload because it is fulfilled and it is all post, complete array post from a remote server. What would happen to him would be concat to existing initial value. Concat. What would be concat action payload? And here, this state action, and here is it is arrow function. It is input. This state is always copy of output. And in curly brackets, it is body of arrow function here. We have a exit state, new actual state. All this script is about a new actual state. Also here, fetch post rejected in curly brackets would be all about what would be C. What would be new state? New state would be information about error. And state status would be failed. Here, add new post, pending. There is a no action payload. We're waiting action. And status is loading. And here, fulfilled, we have state and action. State is copy of actual state, and action is payload. And here, what to do with it? Push. Again, we write directly, but IMER library behind behind scene would be use copy, but here, if state is here and state in body, it is very clear. It is copy. I don't say copy because state on input is always copy of output. And here is input. And that state, like parameter, go in curly brackets. And here it is, state. It is copy of actual state. And but we don't, before we must create copy, etc. But now we don't need create copy. IMER library take care about that. For IMER library, this state is copy. IMER library must create copy because here we only coding, but we don't create copy. IMER library will create physically that it would be copy of output state, actual state, output of reducer state. New post, add new post fulfilled, okay, status, and here is add new post rejected, status would be failed, action error message. It is output state, it would be output state, it's something get wrong. Handle delete, also pending is waiting for result. there is a no action, and status loading. But handle delete fulfilled, fulfilled. There is a state and action, and what it is. Look at this arrow function state action inside it is reducer function reducer, and in curly brackets is a new output state, and we create it with this code, Also, handle delete rejected. Again, we will see error. Reducer, there is a state, there is a action. Here also, okay, depend about error, what would we hear here, but this is a new state, output state. Update post pending. Here it is, update post pending. I don't know, does I finish the add case? Always add case, always add case. And because of that, we must know something for a name of type, action type. And here it is that string is action type. That string is action type. When you experiment and longer learning tongue, and maybe like me, what repeat video, repeat idea, when you go from this postsSlice with the asynchron fetch data, and when you look at in not asynchron, example before, 545 application, we will better understand, and you will ask yourself, what is action type? And you can see on the screen in Redux toolkit part pane of window. And you said, okay, here it is. Update post pending is here must be separately because here is always add case, add case, add case. And in parameter of add case, we defined type of action. And the second parameter is arrow function. It is reducer state and action. Here is update post fulfilled. We see here is output, all code to have output. What would be new state, actual state? And update post rejected. New actual state would be information about message. Here we see postsSlice of application tank 1. Here we see postsSlice of application 454. And here we have reducer, prepare, post edit, action creator, but also name of action type. Reaction added. Look at it is a name and parameter and body. It is function. It is function syntax for function, and it is what function? Reducer. Here is input, state, and action, and in curly brackets we have what would be new actual state. Also post update function. Reducer, it is a reducer, post delete function, final function. But here, we call fetch post, but it is not final function. It is create asynchron tank. We call fetch post, but create asynchron tank work for us. And because of that, you have definition that a tank is when action creator, when we dispatch, when we don't dispatch action, but we dispatch function. Not object, we don't dispatch object, but we dispatch function. Not object, but function. And here it is what we dispatch. Look at now. Post list, for example, post list. We dispatch fetch post. Here is. And so look at definition. We not dispatch object, but we dispatch function. But there is no difference to see now syntax of this and in 454. Or look at or other. Okay, post. There we can better to see. For example, add post list, postsSlice, add. Here is a tank one. Add form. Add post form, and here is we have for tank one. Look at dispatch, add new post, title content parameter, object title content, dispatch, add new post. But it is dispatch, add new post parameter. And now let's get see in 454 add post. Add post form. Look at dispatch, post added, title content user ID. What is the difference? Nothing. Here we dispatch function, post added, and there in and here also add new post title content. It is tank one. In both we dispatch function, but here in 454 it is also action, because we don't need the tank. It is action. But here, add new post is not action. The action is object. It will not result with the object. It result of this is create asynchron tank function. We call add new post, but we have create asynchron tank. We have create asynchron tank, and add new post is tank. But when you learn tutorial, different tutorial, it is very, very confused. And here we must go asynchron. Because of that, add new post call is equal create asynchron tank. And create asynchron tank uh, uh, coming with Redux toolkit, last version of Redux. And that create asynchron tank create what create? Create reception for data what coming from it is add case builder, and the recept receives data payload and create reducers and create pending type action, fulfill type action, and rejected type action. It create action tank, and we have two dispatch pending type action and dispatch fulfill type action. But we don't see it in syntax. Nothing. And in a tank function, add new post is a tank function. But also we call it action creator, but that tank creates two action. And the tank in 454 create only one action. One action. Tutorial always tutorials said, and I will said, and I will talk dispatch action creator, dispatch tank. Tank is action creator. Yes, tank is action creator, but two action, not one. Only it is difference, two action, pending type action and fulfilled type action. Comparing data in memory of our device and data in remote server, comparing action creator and tank type of action creator, comparing why we need tank. We need tank. It is Redux resource. It's coming with Redux toolkit. We import it from Redux toolkit. We need it because Redux don't understand asynchron process. But Redux is state manager, and it is hard user state manager. Need to know what happened with the data in asynchron process, during asynchron process. And tank function, it means create asynchron tank function, what we import from Redux toolkit. That function will inform with two dispatch pending and Redux no, okay, and our state. No, we pending, it is status loading, and fulfilled, all is okay, fulfilled, we have data. And of course, if something get wrong, we have rejected type of action. Look at this video and look at in code and thinking and read other tutorial explanation, and you will be better and better friends with this kind of programming, this paradigm of declarative programming, functional programming. Uh, it is all new for me was in React, in a JavaScript library, and also would be for you when you coming here in Redux in the React from PHP. Okay, it's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.